Hi, I'm Linda Eastburn, and this is Intuitive Journeys. I'm training a team of intuitive remote viewers, and we are on the hunt. We're stealth detectives, using only the power of our minds to get real-life answers. This week, we go deep into a canyon, looking for buried treasures. So stay with us. But first, we have our audience participation coming up. You will be able to draw along with our remote viewers. They will be drawing target number 9462 in just a few minutes. So get a pen and paper, draw along with us. Stay with us. Later on in the show, I will reveal the image for 9462. Traveling to a place is not so unsimilar to actually drawing the image that you just drew in the past session. Join us as Mark McCrary and Mark Bell travel to a place, and then we'll go there, see if they got it right. We have a place now. It is target number 6117, and you guys just have at it and see what you can find. Before I open up target number 6117, I'd like to know, what did you perceive?
Some kind of a rock formation, cave-like deal, running fresh water, large amount of it. A lot of animal activity. They'd come there to drink, to eat the plants that would go around it. Some human activity, maybe fishing, or people who are on horseback stopping to get a drink or water their horse.
What colors did you get?
Green, blue, black, brown.
Green, blue, black, brown. You got running water?
Yes, fresh water.
Okay, and what did you get?
Well, I really couldn't pinpoint anything. I kind of thought maybe the albino farm that they used to have in Springfield, or some old church or cemetery.
What did you see? What elements did you see when you went into the target? Any colors, any kind of structure?
Just brown, dark brown, and green.
Green.
Blue, brown, and green.
Blue, brown, and green. Write down green.
The blue and the green colors, and the water element is definitely there.
And Mark McCrary, what did you see?
I saw green and blue also.
Okay. Yeah, I know you guys both got locations that you feel like we're not here. This is a car wash, obviously. But you got the colors, blue and green. Both of you got blue and green colors. So that's an element that's good. Well, they both got blue and green, which are color elements of our place target. Not a real close hit, but Mark Bell at least got some water. Didn't see it exactly right, but a few elements there. Legend has it that in the Superstition Mountains of Arizona, there is a lost treasure, gold, hidden there by a Dutchman years and years ago. Many people have gone there to try to find that. Well, we have a lost treasure too, but it's not the lost treasure of gold by the Dutchman. Probably a much smaller treasure, but something that our client wants to find, and he knows the person who hid it there. The person who hid the gold was a man who was probably some kind of an adventurer of some sort that achieved a great amount of wealth that he wanted to hide away somewhere. So he went to this canyon. He described the canyon to our client, but they could never really go back to it and find it. So he came to our remote viewers, and we are going to Superstition Mountain to see if we can find the buried treasure for our client. Okay, this is an odd one. The number is 1585, and we're going to work off of a map. But trying to locate something that was hidden or buried in a canyon within the parameters of this dark part of this map. And that's a pretty big area. So I want you to just really zero in on where this thing is buried or hidden within this map area. Okay, When you have that, I want you to put a small X there. And then I want descriptions of everything that would help someone, if they went to where that X is actually located, how would they find it then from there? Describe landmarks of any sort that would help them. If you can get longitude and latitude also, rather than just an X on the map, because that's a pretty big area, depending on how big your X is, but that would also help. If it happens to come in, just put it down, okay? So I'm going to let you guys work on that. Okay, Tiffany,
Yes.
We've been working on 1585. We've got the map. We know a parameter of where this item is. What did you find that would help them to get to that item?
Okay. So I saw this area where the Champagne Creek comes down, and as it goes down and starts to come back up, right in that little dip there on the northern side of the river, there's a depression in the land, and there are trees and rocks, like a rock wall about 30-40 feet up. And in that area is where I think that it's buried. You would have to get there by river, floating the river, not because there's not land there, but because it's very difficult to get to by land. It's easier to get there by the river.
Mary, what did you find?
I found a canyon near Weaver's Needle in that area, and there was, I could see a trail that went through the canyon, and then there's an opening at the end of it. I think we're going from south to north, and then slightly curve through the opening to the west, and there's an open area at that point. Up to your left as you're traveling through on the wall on the left-hand side, there are at least 3 rocks or boulders that are standing upward, and that's kind of a marker.
Okay, very well. How about you, Dylan?
I don't know, it's kind of strange. I agreed with almost every bit of her description except for my location was a little different. I felt like it came down river, and not because there wasn't roads that could get there, but because it left less of a trail or less of a clue, or whatever. More, but near Pinto Creek, off of this branch of water that comes down here, or whatever this is, I feel like it's in been dropped down in like a cave-ish, crevice-y kind of. I see moss, I see dripping water. I see a little bit of daylight if you look up from where it's at, but I definitely a bed of moss and dripping water was and very dirt oriented,
Okay. Well, apparently this money, and it was money that someone came into, and they wanted to hide it. They've seen, since they're deceased now, but before they died, they hired someone to take them through on a plane, and kind of try to figure out where it was, because it had been a while. And the growth had happened, the undergrowth had happened so much that they couldn't even identify, where it would be. Jeremy, what did you find?
So this location that I see is the confluence of 2 small streams.
Okay.
Where I feel that there's a campfire, shelter maybe was built, food was cooked over an open fire, maybe even skins being dried. Definitely not a short term, but even a long term shelter.
Okay, so we've got it marked there, and we've got, if someone were going into that location, how would they know that they were at the right place? It would be the intersection of the streams?
The confluence of those 2
Okay.
streams.
Okay, and how about you, David?
Okay, well, I got something a little different. The spot is right here. It says Sawtooth Ridge, and I got in the area. It's not up on the top of the ridge or anything, but it's on a high elevation. There's kind of sweeping views, but then here's my cartoon there. The ridge is kind of over here, and there's scattered boulders, but it's not, I mean, the ground is kind of gravelly, rocky, but then there's scattered boulders and sparse vegetation mixed in with that. It's somewhat elevated above the drainage areas, but not way up in the top end of the mountain. So.
Okay. Okay.
But I got it, right here's where.
Okay.
Where
Very good. 5 out of 8 of our remote viewers got a very similar location on the map. Now we're going to narrow that down even more. Within the circular parameter of that location, we will have them remote view again and see if we can narrow it down where our client can go straight to the hidden money. What does it mean to have an integrative mind? Well, it means that the various ways that we use our processing, our thinking, can be integrated to use it in multiple ways. Multitasking is something you've probably heard of, but multitasking in the mind is something that can be efficient, but it can be very inefficient as well. We all know that we have different levels of conscious awareness when we are awake and we are sleeping. But did you know that when you're sleeping, you can actually process many things? I think we are really integrating much of what happened during our day, kind of the things that we learned. We're storing things into a memory bank. There is much going on even when we sleep at night. And when you learn to be more intuitive, you can actually use that dream state efficiently as well. But what I really mean when I say integrative mind, I mean using that analytical part of ourselves that's able to rationally look at our world in a practical way, and also using that intuitive part of ourselves that can incorporate a lot of imagination and creativity and visualizing. When we put those two together and you have an integrated way of thinking and dealing with life, you kind of have the best of two worlds. As you learn to do more and more remote viewing, I hope that you understand that you can bring that into your day-to-day activities. It doesn't just have to be one or the other, where you're analyzing something from a very left brain perspective, or just being off in an intuitive kind of wonderland. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can use your mind in an integrated way, where both of these things, kind of left foot, right foot, can get you farther down the road in a better way. So learn to do remote viewing, integrate it into your day-to-day life, become aware that you can sometimes overthink and overdo with an analytical process. Sometimes when you just let go and you just allow your intuition to be part of your life and integrated into the way that you make decisions, the way you see the world, the way you process information, all of that can be incorporated into a more fully efficient way of being and way of thinking, way of processing information, and even ways of decision making. And once you do that, you're going to find that life is a little bit less complicated and perhaps even more integrated in a big picture form. Well, this brings us to our person target. So get out a pen and paper, play along with us, see if you can get the person for the next target. This is a person. The target number is 6898. It is going to be a well-known person. I want you to draw what they look like. I want you to describe what they look like and then tell me what they are known for. What is their fame for? And I'm just going to let you have at it. We've been drawing a person, number 6898. Tiffany, describe the person?
Okay, well, I got a female, and I had different flashes of people going through my mind. Everything from Pink, the singer Pink, to Mother Mary, the Madonna, like all these different things going through my mind. So someone that is, but I got likable and pleasant and.
And what are they known for? Did you get anything that would nail that down? What are they known for?
Like a benevolent energy.
Okay, and write that down if you haven't yet. Okay. Okay, Mary, what did you get?
All right, I got a woman. She's political, and I think she's wearing glasses. She's involved in organizations and movements to help people that need it, and she's a mother. She has a strong, loud voice.
So she's an activist, and that's
Yeah,
a
she's an
political activist, and that's what she's known for.
Political activist.
What does she physically look like?
What does she physically look like? Well, I tried to draw Michelle Obama.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Dylan.
I got female also, but for me it was more like Dolly Parton or Marilyn Monroe or somebody. You know, especially Dolly kept crawling back in there, but originally I've like Mae West Marilyn, somebody with big boobs. Yeah, big hair. Yeah.
Okay. From
We got all over it.
Okay, let's see what we
Mother
got.
Mary to big.
Amelia Earhart, not real big boobs. Amelia Earhart. Okay, does that fit any description that anyone got? Physically, I don't know.
stretch it.
Yeah, she was like pretty tall and thin.
I was seeing hair pulled back, which I think most of how she's depicted is with that cap on that she would wear.
Yeah, a lot of the
Maybe
time.
something along those lines.
She had really short hair when she didn't have that. She was not a performer. She was a little bit of a rebel, if that's what you saw in
She's
your
rebel.
spirit.
Yeah. I think she was involved in politics. She was dating a politician at one time.
I don't
but-
know. I really don't
I
know
don't. I mean,
that
you'd
part
really
of her.
have to scratch for this one.
Yeah, she lived her life very progressive. I mean, she definitely did not adhere to normal roles, feminine roles at that day and time.
She's
That's for
strong.
sure. Yeah, she definitely did her own thing. So, okay, let's pass those in. All three of our intuitive remote viewers got a female at least. That was about as close as it got. Tiffany's picture was a little bit closer, had some similarities to the look of Amelia Earhart. She described some things that might have been her, but still not really a very close hit. It's time now to send our remote viewers on a treasure hunt to find whatever I hid around here. So I'm not going to tell you what it is until after, so you can do a treasure hunt with me. Let's watch as Sid and Mark look for the hidden object. Okay, let's get a new piece of paper out and we'll get started. Write your name, case number 5738, and today's date. This is something that is hidden, and I would like for you to give me as much information as you can possibly come up with of how to find it. Items that are located close to it, ways that we can discover it. We just need to find this item, okay? So I'm going to let you have at it. Write up everything that you can think of on it, and then write me a summary about it. Turn your page over, put your pen down, and I'll just let you do that. Okay, so we have case number 5738, and it's a hidden object. I hid it just this morning, so I know where it is, but you guys don't. It's on this property somewhere. So if you were going to tell me how to find this item, Mark, what did you get? How would I find that?
I was just trying to figure out the item.
Okay, no, we need to figure out how to get me to the item.
I would think you hid it in the backyard.
Okay, and how would I find it out there? It's a big backyard. What is it near? What is it near?
I think it's metal, so maybe a metal detector.
A metal detector, you think it's buried?
No.
Okay, so what is it near?
The back left corner.
Of the yard.
Yeah, the shed maybe back there.
Okay, what'd you get, Sid?
I have that it's a lady's pin or a brooch, and that I feel like it's either on a garment that was previously worn or in the pocket of a garment that was previously worn.
Okay, the assignment was, how do I find it at this point in time? So,
Did you hide it?
yeah, I hid it. So where is it? How would I find it?
I'd go to your closets and go through your garments.
Okay, so you think it's in the house, and you think it's in a garment.
Yes.
Okay, and you think it's in the yard, out by the shed?
Or the
and all
garage.
that? Okay, okay. Give me a color of something that's near.
I think it's shiny, gold. Came up with jewelry too, like he did.
Very good. Okay, so we've revisited 5738 to get more specific information about how to find the object that is hidden. Sid, what did you get this time?
I got that it's near something that's red or white, or maybe red and white. I'm not sure if it's between or both colors. I kept coming back to the fact that it's maybe in a garage, someplace that's not as comfortable as inside the house, and that it's on or near your car.
Okay, and what did you get this time, Mark?
I thought it was too hot for you to go outside, so I figured it's in the kitchen by the refrigerator.
Okay. Well, none of that's correct. It is close to something red. It is outside. Okay? It is outside. It's close to something red. And it is in a small black bag. It's under a flower pot on the table outside. Now, the interesting thing, though, is, when you got something shiny and you saw a brooch, it's actually a coin. So we're going to do a little simple field trip right now and go show you where it is. A woman called me this week wanting to have a session, and she's allowed us to put it on the show. So I'm going to do a private session, a personal session, for a woman who is having some difficulties in a roommate situation. She has a nice woman who's her roommate, but they're having some difficulties in agreeing on some of the things, just normal things around the house, temperature that the furnace is set on, things like that. So I'm going to take a look and see what I can find that would help each of them to be able to get along better and to rectify some of the difficulties they're having right now. It's become crucial. They may not be able to stay as roommates without something changing this pattern. So I'm just going to go in, connect with the two of them, see what I can find. We're seeing the two of them to be very different personalities, which has something to do with the complexity of the situation. We see that the client that we have does not feel as if there is cooperation from the other. The other does not see that as necessarily a truth. So we see that there is at the root of the difference something that is going to be somewhat complicated to understand because the communication levels there are so slim. We see our client needs to become more formal in the way that she addresses the issues. For we see that the issues are presented, but they're presented in such a subtle fashion that the roommate does not comprehend nor fully absorb what our client is attempting to address to her. So we do see that it is vital that the two of them sit, talk, become clear, perhaps even writing down the points that our client wishes to make with her prior to this discussion, and to put no blame anywhere, but simply to have some ground rules, some house rules, so to speak, that would enable the two of them to become more acquainted with what is going to be a compatible state rather than that which creates division. We see that the roommate is a somewhat easygoing, somewhat reluctant to become hard-nosed or very demanding. And so we see that she thinks the client that we have should be the same. And she is not. We see our client is very direct, is very set on having things done in a very regimented fashion, to have the rules be the rules. But we see that she is reluctant to express those rules to the others. So we see that that's where the downfall really lies. We see that once these two have something in written form, once the two of them agree to come together and actually have what we see as a sort of formal written understanding of what the regulations will be, we see that at that point it will relieve both of them from the burden in which that they hold at this time to not be able to communicate or achieve what is desired from each of them. But we do see that this will be a task. There needs to be some boundaries drawn as to when and how this meeting shall take place. And we do see that there needs to be boundaries drawn as to when and how the two of them will even speak or talk during that presentation. For we see that otherwise the roommate will begin to feel as if our client is somewhat of a dictator, trying to tell her what to do and trying to form these unrealistic boundaries. And we do see that our client will begin to feel as if it is useless, hopeless, and inefficient to even have this discussion with her. We see that once they have these boundaries whereby each can express from the reality of their own personalities, we see that they will begin to understand perhaps one another better and begin to respect the way that each of them will contribute to the household in a manner that will accommodate both of them. I do not see that they can't agree. I do see that they can come to terms and agree on something. I just see it's the process of getting there to understand what that agreement is. That's the difficult situation. So I hope they can work that out. I think they can. They'll just have to give it some effort. And there again, putting things in writing will be very helpful. I have a client that came to me wanting us to look for a car title. The car title is for an older truck, a truck that was owned by her father. Her father has since passed away, and he promised this truck to the granddaughter. And now they're looking for the title and can't find it. This isn't just any truck, however. This is the truck that the granddaughter and the grandfather would go around the land, the farm that he owned. They would work together and just enjoy the out of doors and nature together. It's a precious, precious truck because it incorporates so much memory for both of them. The granddaughter adored her grandfather, and both our client and her daughter miss him very much. The truck kind of represents these precious memories, these precious moments in their life together. So it's important that they find the car title. I'm going to send our remote viewers to look for it, and hopefully we can discover where it is for them. This is a lost car title. A man had an old truck, and I don't think anyone's driven it for a long time.
Uh-oh.
And he died, and then his wife just recently died. Now the family, of course, has inherited this old truck. That they want to keep the old truck, they want to license it and keep it going, but now they can't find the title for it. So I want you guys to give me some information that will help us to find the car title for these people, or the truck title for the people that are looking for it. We've been looking at 8469, and that's a car title that is lost. It's an old truck. So David, where did you find it to be?
It's in a chest of drawers. It'll have 3 drawers, and it'll be in the bottom drawer, and in that drawer there's a paper folder envelope that it's inside. And it seems like there's a bunch of those kind of stacked together, but
Any
there's one
particular room of the house that it might be in, do you think?
bedroom,
A bedroom? Okay. Okay. And a lower drawer? Is that what you said?
the lowest drawer of 3 drawers. A chest of drawers, it seemed like it had three drawers, but it was in the bottom drawer.
Very good. Okay. Journey, what did you
All
find?
right, so I have it in it's mixed in with maintenance records that were kept in an old filing cabinet that may have been forgotten. It might be in a shed or it might be in an old garage.
Okay.
And the not pure of the records were sometimes mixed in with house receipts and old house maintenance records. And I think that I wrote down some words that were kind of important. This filing cabinet is screechy and hard to get open, and so it makes a really loud noise. It's rusty and dark and musty.
And how many? 2 drawers, or is it?
I drew 2 because
two?
that's what it felt like it needed.
And
to
it was
be.
in which one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay, somewhere
yeah.
in a squeaky file cabinet.
Squeaky, screechy.
In maybe a garage or a shed.
Yeah, I don't see it. I didn't necessarily see it in the house. I think it's in a garage or a shed.
Okay, very good. Tiffany, let's start with you. Where are they going to find this title?
I think it's around like a roll top desk. I feel like it is very close to where it's supposed to be, just not right there. Like either there may be some drawers or boxes that it's in loose paper on top of, or possibly it got put in the drawer it was supposed to be in and shoved to the back and it's stuck behind the drawer, like in between the desk and the drawer at the back.
Okay, Mary.
I got a corner of the room with a little window there, sun coming through the window. Which room of the house? It's on the northwest corner of the house. And I see it it has fallen back against the wall, kind of like how it slid down the wall and caught in the trim of the room. Right, and it's all dusty and kind of has that old moldy smell to it.
It's been there a while.
It's been there a while, and it's well covered with, I put other congestion and debris in that area.
Okay.
So.
Okay, very good. How about you, Dylan?
Well, I hate to be the dissenter. I think it's near something. I got the sense of the color green nearby it, but I felt like it's like a bedside table type thing. It's right next to the bed, down at the bottom of a stack of magazines.
Okay.
I get the sensation over and over and over again that it is very flat.
Okay.
So some weight of like magazines and stuff, mail, whatever. The last time it was used or whatever, it was just sat down and stuff sat on top of it, and it's at the close to the bottom of the stack, but it's not where they're looking because they see magazines and they're like, well, it won't be there.
Yeah.
But it's like at the bottom of like a bedside kind of table, like an open area. But I got the feeling like if you go in the front door and you turn right, there's a bedroom on the right. And if you go past the bed on the other side, it's down low in a stack of magazines.
Okay, very good. And what room is your desk in?
I saw it in kind of a front room area, not like right at the front of the house, but close to the front of the house.
Okay. Okay. I will pass this on to them and hope.
This brings us to our reveal for target number 9462. So get out your pen and paper for target number 9462. We're ready for the reveal.
Let's start with you. What do you perceive the image number 9462 to be?
I got that it was kind of there's a vastness about this image. I feel like there might be a structure or a dwelling in a very rural setting. Blue, brown, and green were the colors. I don't know if that means the sky or the landscape, but it's all very open and vast, still and quiet, earthy smell.
So you got a landscape setting with the structure and greenery and all sorts of things like that. Okay. Kristen, this is your very first time. What did you get?
Very first impression that came to me was a circle and then dark and then light colors, leafy, and then my mind just went to a wreath.
A wreath, yeah, that would do that. Okay, so but you got green
And gold.
green and gold, circular in nature, and kind of leafy or nature sort of thing around it.
Leaves, not, it seemed very much leaves, not, like what do you make a wreath out of?
Not evergreen.
Like needles? It wasn't needles,
Okay,
just leaves.
okay,
So that's what I got.
okay. And Drew, you
And
got
I had flowers in mind too. Flowers, plants. It's a picture of a woman, and some association to floral or plants or
okay.
something of the like.
So a person, and then and what colors did you get?
The colors are red, green, lavender, and one other one, kind of a burnt orange.
And you wrote all those down. So Drew, it looks like you got a picture of a woman and a flower, and the colors again that you got there.
Burnt orange, lavender, green, red.
Okay.
Primaries.
Okay. So let's just see what we got here. And it is a blue felt heart. How did you do? And finally now, it's time for the recap. Mark McGrary and Mark Bell both got some elements of the place, the car wash, with the blue and green colors, and Mark Bell even got a little bit of water element. I wouldn't call this a super hit, but I would say it's, it has some elements of the location, so I'm going to give them a little bit of credit for that. Next, we have 5 out of 8 intuitive remote viewers got a very similar location on the map in Superstition Mountains. When it's that many people seeing a similar area, we know that we have probably some accuracy there. We'll find out later on when our treasure hunter lets us know when he finds the treasure. And finally, we have both Sid and Mark. Some elements of the hidden coin, both of them got a piece of jewelry, and it is a gold coin. They both got kind of shiny, something shiny. Sid even saw red, and it was hidden under a red flower on the deck. He saw a pocket it was in. Well, it's not a pocket, it's a pouch, but it has some very similar elements of a pocket. So I wouldn't call that a great hit either, but it had some elements of it. We didn't have a really super good remote viewing week. We had a few elements, however, so we will continue to improve and work on it for next time. I hope you did better. And you know what? I want to know. I want to know if you got any of the elements right. So send us your comments. Let us know. Let us know. Send us your copies of the drawings even. We'd like to see them. Join us next time when we go off planet to remote view. Oh my, where are we headed? Also, we're going to go on the trail of some folk hero gangsters. Check it out next time. If you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.